Yeah, I'd have to go back and watch the film and see exactly how it was. There's probably some advantageous matchups, but there's some guys out there that can certainly play for us. And if you want to win football games, you got to win it in the front. Both sides of the ball. So excited about those guys that we have. On that group. There's some young guys that I expect to step up and have bigger roles than they did last year, but also a group on both sides that we can continue to develop.
What were your impressions of your quarterback play, particularly from Dylan and Dante?
I think all of our quarterbacks had some really positive plays. I know there was a couple plays that series would have probably kept going if the ball was caught. But I have to go back again and watch the film to get a really clear look. I think we saw some good things from Luke and Austin as well. And even Brock when he was in there. So I'll go see the film, see how it looks. I feel really good about our quarterbacks, though. I really like the group that we have there. I think we have talent in that room.
Like the ball carriers say, a lot of physicality, tough running. Could you speak to kind of what you saw there, and especially I guess running back with guys like Jay and Jordan?
Yeah, I think Jordan. We've all seen what Jordan can do, and really impressed with that. And I think there's other guys that are really doing a good job growing in that room. I'm going to go back and look. I think there's some of those plays where we could have been more physical and look for opportunities to attack with even better pad level. But overall, I think we know what we have in that room. We have some guys that we can compete with.
Coach, good to see you. I wanted to ask you about a couple of your young defensive backs, Dakota Fields, Aaron Flowers. Seems like they had pretty strong days. What have you seen from them this spring, and just to come and soak it up as quickly as they have?
Yeah, it's really hard, to be able to come in and compete, especially as a freshman in this defense and what we ask these guys to do. There's a lot that they have to absorb, and sometimes days like today are awesome days just to see those guys go out there and play fast. Obviously Dakota had a big play. Aaron had some great tackles. So we've signed good football players. It's our job to continue to develop them, but excited about their growth.
Dan, your perspective on the wide receiver group today, and particularly Evan, what you saw from him?
Yeah, I think it's hard. I know everybody here is going to want to talk about today. I have to speak on what I've seen all spring, and we have some talented guys in that room, which is great. And we've got to continue to eliminate some of the EMAs that are going to occur when you're learning stuff new. But I see burst, I see explosion, I see guys that attack the ball. When it's in the air, big catch radius, ability to run after catch. So it's a deep group for us, and I think there's a lot of guys that can help us.
Dan, when you see so many guys go in the draft like you've had, I think in theory you would at least think that there'd be some obvious holes or drop off at certain positions. But especially in this day and age, what is the key to being sustainably good and not having drop off when you do send a big class like this off, to be able to continue to take steps as a program and as a team?
Yeah, recruit well and develop your roster, right? Understand the strengths and the weaknesses of your team and continue to, build into that, and always prepare with the future in mind, right? Obviously we're getting ready for this next season, but the season after that's going to be just as important in how we recruit, and events like this are huge for it. There's a lot of recruits out there today watching us play, right? But they're not going to impact next season, but they'll impact the season after that. So we have to do a great job of developing our young guys that we have here and continuing to build our roster.
A lot of times when you ask coaches about their goals for the spring game, one of the number one things is to come out of it healthy, and that didn't seem to happen today. Is there any updates on any of those players? And just
I don't have any update right now. I'll get with Chief here in a little bit. I think we have some dings here and there, but overall, I think our team's going to be in good shape.
Yeah, I guess just as a coach, when you see something like that, does it frustrate you at all? Or?
No, football's football. Is it frustrating for the player? I'm frustrated for the player that they get banged up. But football's football. And the only way to get better at it is to play football. So you only get limited amounts of time that you can actually go out there and play. We've got time to be healthy by the time we get to spring.
Coach, I believe you had 7 players drafted in the draft. What does that mean to you, and what do you tell your team now when you have that many players that move on to the next level?
I think it was 8, right?
8? Okay.
8. Not bad, right? No, I think it's exciting. Now it's about getting more of those guys in the first and second, right? Like you're so thrilled for people that work their tails off for an opportunity and compete so hard for the Oregon Ducks, and for that to turn into future for success for them. That's something that we're really excited about. Those guys put blood, sweat, and tears into their efforts here, and I know that's going to carry over well. There's some NFL teams getting really good players.
Just got in the end zone today. Has he shown leading up to the spring game that kind of stuff you've seen that from him in practice?
Yeah.
Speak to his spring.
Justice is consistently been a really good player for us. Justice has to be able to be healthy, and when he's healthy, he's definitely a guy that can make an impact for us.
past couple days have been a little bit of a whirlwind for you. Obviously, cross country flight. What was it for you personally like to be there with Bo when he got drafted? And what was your reaction when you saw Troy go join him in Denver today?
Yeah, I thought that might play out, having some late night conversations with teams, about our guys, but getting to share those moments with these players, again, I feel like it's a small piece that we can give back for all they've done for us. And, seeing some dreams live out is pretty awesome, especially when you can be there with the family and experience it firsthand.
Way back in the back, Matt.
Realize every year, every team is different. Like, what do you want the DNA of this team to be when fall camp arrives and don't even see?
I think the DNA traits for us aren't going to change, right? It still has to be about connection, growth, toughness and sacrifice. But yeah, every team is unique and every team is different. And it's about growing up together, right? So, this spring, I think our team grew up a ton. Going into spring, I knew we had a talented team, but we had to become a team. And I think I saw a lot of that throughout this spring.
James.
What do you want some of the leaders on your team to attack whether it's player-led practices here in May and June, or it's on their own, whether it's Dylan going to 3D QB or Jeff with individual workouts, Jordan with individual workouts? What do you want your best players to be doing over the next 90, 100 days?
Getting better. I mean, I'm just excited to see these guys continue to work. Just because spring ball ends doesn't mean we don't continue to improve.
Up in the back, Aaron.
It was the first time that a lot of players got to run down the tunnel and maybe put on a real Oregon jersey and take the field. When you were talking to those guys during the spring, and you'll continue to talk to them after this game, how do you think that'll kind of fuel them for the next time that you take Austin Stadium?
Yeah, I saw some smiles on some guys' faces, them being here, being a recruit and being a player are two different things. So getting to wear that uniform for the first time, see our fans, how passionate they are about what, we're doing here. I think that was a lot of fun for those guys. So next time it's a real deal.
So in the back, Ronald.
Going back to the draft, I believe there was 16 wideouts taken before Troy. Were you a bit surprised that he didn't go earlier, and did you have a conversation with him at all overnight?
Yeah, Troy and I visited. I'm certainly surprised that some teams missed on an opportunity to get him, but I know that Troy's going to take the best of that, make the best of that opportunity that he got, and I think he's going to a great team and coaches that understand his strengths and getting to go play with his former quarterback. So you can sit here and worry about what everybody else and their situation is, but I'm excited about the situation that Troy's walking into.
Coach, one of the guys that was kind of flying all over the place today was Ben Roberts. Seemed like he was super active and involved when we were replacing guys like Brandon, Casey. Can you speak to Ben's development and just where he's at as he exits spring?
Yeah, I think Coach Tuiotti's done an unbelievable job with our defensive line and continuing to develop it and grow it. And Ben's certainly one of those guys that's embraced what's the technique required to be successful at the position. D-line is a really technical position, and Ben's done a good job this offseason in attacking that.
Matt?
Evaluation period for you guys for recruiting. Can you just speak to just the importance of these next couple months? I think this week you talked about how recruiting official visits in June is big for you guys. Just what's the next couple months going to be like for you for the program?
Yeah, we always recruit. It doesn't ever feel like we're not recruiting, but we're going to get an opportunity for our coaches to get on the road and go see some people in person, get to be around them, guys that we want to target and find out about some guys that are out there we probably don't know about right now. So you're always looking for ways to improve your roster, and that's what we get to be able to do in the next few weeks.
Tatum Tuioti was making plays all over the field in pass rush and pass coverage. What have you seen from his development from year 1 to year 2?
The exact same thing. I mean, exactly what he did today on the field is what he does in practice every day. This guy's gotten bigger, faster, and stronger. He's very intelligent. He's becoming. You can start to hear his voice out there on the field. So really proud of Tatum and his growth.
Take a couple more, James.
How different do you feel about the secondary today compared to when Kyrie would be out of a game and when teams were really potent in passing to be able to attack the guys there? It seems like what you addressed and what you brought in via the portal, that you've really overhauled the secondary. How different do you feel about it now?
I feel like we have a team that can compete and go win. I feel like we have a good group, at several positions. So certainly feel good about the secondary.
Take one more, Ronald, in the back.
Defense overall played really physical today. What do you think will be sort of the difference from a season ago to this year's defense?
Well, it's a new team. Not really anything that happened last year has nothing to do with next year, other than the continuity of the coaching staff, what we're to build. Some players getting older, but you want to see growth. You want to see them keep developing, keep getting better, playing with the tenacity, raising their own standard of play. What winning football is to them. And I think we have a group that'll embrace that.